My name is Emma. I am 26 years old. I am married to my husband Jacob, who is 4 years older than me. We fell in love at work. He was my supervisor in the same sales department and he wooed me. At the time, when I was still only 24, I thought it was a bit early to get married. Please, at least become my wife for now. We can think about what comes next together. I will make you happy, I promise. There is no one in this world who wants to make you happier than I do, he said. He was very passionate. In the end, or rather, I was swayed by his fervor. I thought he would always cherish me, so I decided to accept his proposal. We got married a year after he started wooing me. Now we have finally reached our first year of marriage. Since we had a workplace romance, it was a bit awkward, so I decided to change my job. I might get a part-time job at a bakery. That sounds good. You could also take cooking classes and relax. In fact, his family is quite wealthy. When we got married, his father bought us a condominium. I feel guilty somehow. It is okay. It is like learning on your parents' legs. You can just repay them with filial piety, he said. I see. I visited my in-laws with gifts, trying to be a good daughter-in-law for them. We are just happy to have a lovely person like Emma as our daughter-in-law, they said. That's right. He can be a bit selfish, can't he? Please look after him, they said. Yes, I will, I replied. They are very kind and good in-laws. Of course, my parents are also happy about this marriage. They greatly welcome Jacob, who has a good education and is on a fast track to success within the company. But about children, it's easier to raise them if you have them early, my parents asked. Well, I'm considering it. If you are going to have them anyway, it's better to have them early. Raising children requires a lot of energy, I replied. Yeah, I guess. I don't really feel like going out and having fun anymore. Maybe I should aim to be a good mom. It is nice to have such candid conversations with my real mother. I started thinking that maybe it will be better to have children sooner. In this way, this marriage was blessed by everyone in the family, except for one person. The only one who didn't like this marriage was my older sister. Her name is Erica. There's a bit of an age gap between us. She is 6 years older than me, 32 years old. She has been an office worker for 14 years since graduating from high school, but she has never had a boyfriend. Erica has always been antagonistic and scary towards me since we were little. I remember being harassed by her ever since I became aware of my surroundings. And as I grew older and started noticing it, her harassments became more insidious. She did really petty things, like tearing up my notebooks or hiding my pencil case. At worst, she would take the diary I kept on my desk without permission, show it to our parents, and laugh. It is not like I wrote anything strange, but it was really unpleasant. It seems she didn't like our parents doting at me. And there's another thing. The cruel factor was appearance. I don't mean to boast, but I was born with a well-arranged face, inheriting all the good points from both of my parents. But Erica, my sister, looks nothing like me and has a plain face. Her hair is frizzy and her skin isn't clear. Apparently, she had a complex about her appearance. But it would be troublesome if she held a grudge against me. Even so, people say I'm cute. I am not on the level of a model or an actress. I'm average. So, instead of feeling jealous and mean to me, I always thought she should work on making herself cute, but it seems that my sister was swimming with this complex inside her. And she started working right after high school and saved money, and she had plastic surgery just before she turned 20. I was only 14 at that time, and I was shocked to see my sister come home with a blue bruise on her face. thinking she had been subjected to some sort of violence. But it seems she had everything from her eyes, nose, lips, and facial contour changed all at once. After a while, when her downtime ended, my sister was a completely different person. It does have a sort of post-surgery look, but I think she's more beautiful than before. Above all, if she's satisfied with it, then I think that's fine. At that time, I believed that since her face had become beautiful, her heart should become a little more beautiful too, so we are not very close as sisters. But when I reported that I was getting married, she said, "Huh, so you're getting married already? Aren't you selling yourself short?" She only had sarcastic comments. Once again, I thought that I would never get along with this sister in the future. After my marriage, my sister seemed to have had plastic surgery somewhere again. Now it's hard to even tell what has changed. Her skin is unnaturally shiny, and her eyes have become even more double-lighted. Whether it's an improvement or not, it seems like only she knows. Anyway, despite our not-so-good relationship, my sister strangely started to come over to my house to hang out or stay over. "Sis, what's up? What's wrong?" "Because you got married before me, Mom keeps bugging me about it. What about you?" she asked. "I am just taking my time to choose, and I don't have a partner yet," I replied. "I see, so what? It's uncomfortable at home because of you, so let me stay." In the end, she even brought her belongings. It's too pushy and troublesome, but I can't just forcibly kick her out. I didn't like it, but I thought she wouldn't come that often because she hates me deep down inside. I underestimated the situation. But my sister started to come at least once a week, and at worst, 2 or 3 times a week. It is really becoming a nuisance. It is strange to have dinner with my husband as a trio or to drink together when she brings alcohol at night. I don't enjoy it very much. I find my sister eerie because she is excited too much. However, for some reason, my husband Jacob didn't seem to be bothered and always seemed to welcome my sister. Finally, I asked, "Hey, what's going on? Are you bothered when my sister comes?" He replied, "No, not at all. She's a good sister, isn't she? She always brings me souvenirs. And the other day, when she stayed over, we even went to the station together. She's a wonderful sister, isn't she?" He responded in a friendly manner. "Her profile is very beautiful too," he added. "Her profile? It's been surgically altered. Souvenirs? She's never bought me any. There are so many things I want to point out. But with my husband like this, I can't say anything. I'm giving off vibes that I don't want her to come anymore." But my sister completely ignores that. And so the days went on. One day, my husband made a shocking confession. "Hi, I'm sorry. I'm going to break up with you, Emma." Erica said she's pregnant. I seriously doubted my ears. "What?" "It's a long story, but I was just with her. She's already 10 weeks along. I even saw the ultrasound picture," he explains. I felt dizzy. I couldn't digest the situation, even with the sudden talk about an ultrasound. "What do you mean?" As I was about to question my husband, the doorbell rang. My sister was standing at the entrance of the apartment. I unlocked the door and let my sister in. At this point, I thought I should get an explanation. "Oh, Emma, I'm sorry it turned out this way, but you will congratulate us, right?" My sister pulled out an ultrasound photo from her wallet with a triumphant look on her face. "Are you saying, whether I am sane or not, you should face this reality? Your husband is the father. We have actually been in love," my sister said. When I looked at my husband's face, he seemed uncomfortable, but it seemed his feelings had completely turned to my sister. "I'm sorry, Emma, but you are still young, and you can start over. Since this has happened with Erica, I'm going to take responsibility. I will make her happy, absolutely. I don't think anyone else in the world wants to make her happier than I do," he said, using the exact same line he had used when he proposed to me. Apparently, He is completely intoxicated with this illicit affair and my sister's pregnancy. This stupid man, I shoot it with all my might in my heart. My sister had a 3-month look on her face, and she walked into the room and stood next to my husband. She seemed to claim her place right next to him. Jacob, let's proceed with our discussion. Your partner is my younger sister. I'm sure she will understand that she should step aside for her elder sister, my sister said confidently. Various emotions welled up within me. My sister, who had always been subtly cruel to me, my sister who scoffed at me when she heard I was getting married, and now she had even taken my husband. At this moment, my feelings for my detestable sister and the husband standing next to her suddenly cooled. But I decided that I wouldn't let things go their way. I'm not getting divorced. Don't joke with me. I won't remove my name from the family register, I declared firmly. Then my husband asked, What? Why? What do you think about the child in your sister's womb? I replied, I don't care, rather, I feel sick thinking about you two having such a relationship. He was having an affair with her. Yet she was nonchalantly visiting my room, and we were all eating together. I even thought that she doesn't really love him, but wanted to annoy me by doing so. I stood firm. I won't let things go the way you want. I don't care about him anymore, so you can have him, but I won't divorce him. You can't just have an illegitimate child on your own. What did you just say? Is that something you would say to your own sister? What about you? Is this how you treat your own sister? Anyway, you should leave. This apartment was bought by Jacob's parents, right? Then I have the right to live here. I don't know what you are talking about right now. You are just a mistress who is pregnant with my husband's child. I am his wife on paper. There's no way I'm leaving. Don't you dare talk back to me. My sister's face turned bright red. Did she think that she would win just by getting pregnant? But that's not how it works. If you keep intruding, I have my own plans. I glared at her. My sister, who had always put up with anything done to her, seemed a bit taken aback for the first time. Fine. Jacob will be mine anyway. You can't keep struggling. It's pathetic. She spat out those parting words and laughed. What a horrible man. What a horrible woman. I decided to stop treating her as my real sister. I ignored my husband and went into the bedroom. My husband was saying something outside the door for a while, but I pretended not to hear him and continued to ignore him. Eventually, he seemed to give up and sleep on the sofa. I started taking action the next day. First, I went to inform my in-laws about this situation. I thought that I had to take the initiative before Jacob acted. My in-laws were surprised and apologized for their son's actions. That idiot! I absolutely won't accept this. The other woman is also outrageous. Oh, sorry. She's your sister, Emma. No, I have decided to cut ties with her. It's unbelievable that she's pregnant with my husband's child. Yes, we will fully support you, Allison. Let us know anytime you need a lawyer, right? I won't be divorcing him for a while. I don't think there's a need to grant their wishes just like that. Is that okay? Of course, I will help clean up that idiot's son's mess. I thanked them and left my in-laws' home. Next was my own parents. I thought my sister might have already talked to them, but apparently, she hadn't told our parents yet. What? She's too much. This is giving me a headache. What do you plan to do? Come back home for now. There's no need for you to stay with that man. Yes, I will do that. I decided to leave the apartment and return to my parents' home. I had no intention of living with my husband anymore. It is clear that he would be meeting my sister behind my back and treating me as a nuisance. I decided to act smart about this. When my sister realized I hadn't returned to my husband's apartment that day, she didn't return to her parents' home. We had effectively switched homes. Well, she can think she's won for now. With the help of my parents, I moved my belongings out of the apartment, and it seems that my sister moved in as soon as I moved out. But when I reported this to my in-laws, I don't accept that. Who do you think paid for the place but acts so freely? They changed the name on the apartment and immediately sold it. I couldn't help but laugh a bit when I heard the news. My sister and husband reluctantly moved out of the apartment and rented another one together. As for me, my husband repeatedly pleaded, agreed to the divorce. Do you intend to make your sister an unmarried mother? Knowing a child is born soon. But I denied. I won't agree to divorce. That's all. Absolutely refused. He threatened to take legal action, but I said, go ahead if that's what you want to do. To prevent him from filling the divorce papers on his own, I had made a request for not acceptance of divorce papers. If the woman had been a total stranger, I might not have been so stubborn, but the woman was my sister. Once the child is born, she will likely show off to my in-laws and my parents, saying, look at your grandchild. Unlike with a stranger, I can't simply say goodbye and be done with it. I decided to patiently endure, thinking I would make the scheming woman who believed everything would go well once she gave a birth pay for the actions. After all, it is not like I could find someone new right after such a thing happens. I plan to stay legally married, dragging things out as much as possible. Then I decided to boldly return to the same workplace as my husband. I contacted our mutual supervisor and explained everything, and he rehired me. You have been through a rough time, but you are still young, you can start over. Everyone was supportive. I spread the word about what my husband did throughout the workplace, and my husband, that disgusting man impregnating your wife's sister, that's way out of line, was removed and found the environment too uncomfortable. So he quit the company. Served him right. And then, 9 months later, it seems my sister had given birth. Both my in-laws and my parents ignored my sister's childbirth. My weak-willed husband, who was completely cornered, came to report to me. The baby was born safely. It's a boy. So I said, oh, is that so? Given all the plastic surgery my sister had, I bet he doesn't look like her at all. Put in a light sarcasm. Plastic surgery? What do you mean? He reacted. But I answered, who knows? I just told him that, and hung up the phone. In the end, it seems that my sister ended up giving birth to a child without even being able to register her marriage with Jacob. They seem to be living together now, but after all, they are just strangers to each other. She can't even be called a common law wife yet. It's a pathetic situation for grown-ups to give birth while cohabitating without even being recognized by their parents. Moreover, Jacob is currently unemployed as he hasn't been successful in changing jobs. My sister, who originally had a bad personality, seemed to be failing interviews due to her neurotic tendencies caused by things not going her way at home. Since my sister also quit her job upon giving birth, it seems that two of them are now living by eating into their savings. But well, even if they could live a somewhat normal life, what awaits them is the cold gaze from both sets of parents and a life of being pointed at behind their backs by society. Did my sister really love my ex-husband in the first place? I'm still curious about that. If she did all this just to spite me, I think she is a pitiful person, though I have already cut ties with her. As for me, I am thinking of finally letting go of that unnecessary husband. I plan to demand proper alimony through a lawyer, and I, too, am thinking of preparing to embark on the next journey of my life. I am glad I didn't just hand over the position of wife when he was over the moon. If I had done that, I would regret it for the rest of my life. I really had a hard time this past year, but I'm thinking of forgetting it and moving forward. Thank you for joining us today on Deep Stories. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video.